What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spread the Positive podcast. I am your host, Trent Denson, founder of Spread the Positive and STP Productions, where our mission is to bring light to what's going right and to showcase and facilitate efforts that are making a positive impact in our local communities and beyond. Be sure to check us out, spreadthepositive.net. And also, if you're looking to get involved with the STP Podcast Network, please reach out and just check out all the amazing shows that are on the network. We continue to grow. We continue to build. Be part of the solution. Be part of what's going right. Welcome to the show.
Hey, my name is Brian Nell. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly be a pleasure to be a part of what they do. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I am your host, Trent Denson, as always. Got a good friend and someone that I look up to, just a heck of a person. Miss Staci Davis with Waves. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Trent?
I'm doing well. Newly appointed executive director.
This is true.
Round of applause.
Thank
well
you so
deserved.
much.
You said it's a little bit crazy right now?
It's a fire hydrant of information. Yeah, it's a moving from development director to executive director is a big step.
That is.
And there's a lot of new responsibilities that are coming with it, but it's exciting.
That's amazing.
Very excited.
I saw the news and did like a big let's go. So that's so awesome.
Yeah, me too. And then I cried.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh wait, I got to do all this stuff now. Oh, that's amazing. Well, I know you well, or pretty well, but I want the people listening, watching, give us a little overview of who you are, a little of your backstory, early passions, anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm originally from Mississippi.
Mississippi girl.
Did not grow up in Tennessee, but love it here.
Right.
But grew up in Mississippi. I went to college at Southern Miss, the University of Southern Mississippi.
Nice.
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle.
Bleed black and gold.
I love it.
love it. And so went to college there, and absolutely fell in love with it. It wasn't fast.
Yeah.
Like it was a hard sell for me because
Yeah.
I was like the definition of homesick when I went to college.
Oh wow.
And like went home every single weekend.
Oh wow.
It was quite sad.
But
But the thing that saved me is I was a part of the scholarship program. I was a part of the Lucky Day Scholars program. Shout out to the Lucky Day Foundation.
Nice.
And I decided, I guess my sophomore year or near the end of my freshman year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to put my effort into it.
There you go.
They've put some trust and money into me, so why don't I try to do the same? Put some energy back into the program, and that's when like I really fell in love with college.
Nice.
And the whole university experience.
Nice.
And so I decided at that point, higher education was my career path.
Okay.
And so finished my 4 years at Southern Miss and decided to get my master's.
Nice.
And went on into college student personnel because I was going to be like the dean of students or a director.
So
like
I did know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I was on par to like be in higher education for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Upon getting my master's degree, I started working for the scholarship program. So for a few years, I was the assistant director of the Lucky Day Scholars program. It was the biggest learning experience.
Is that just for Southern Miss? Or
they have no.
Okay.
So the Lucky Day Foundation is based out of Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
It's named after Frank Day, who was really high up with Trustmark Bank, which is a big bank in Mississippi. He had a lot of money.
Yeah. That's how that works.
However he had his money, but he was a very benevolent person.
Nice.
And he would give back. And actually, there's a lot of people in Mississippi who have gone to college on his dollar and never knew who he was as a donor.
Wow.
He did a lot of things anonymously, sending college scholarships for
That's awesome.
for folks who would have never gone to college in the first place.
Sure.
And so after he died, his widow and his friends and close colleagues decided we need to create something big.
Okay.
And so they called it the Lucky Day
Okay.
Foundation
I see what
after
they
Frank
did there.
Day. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really
And
cool.
so from there, they this group of board members and foundation members, they were all Ole Miss alum.
Okay.
And so that's where the original Lucky Day Scholarship Program started.
Okay.
So they were there at Oxford, Mississippi at Ole Miss, and they decided, like, let's do something at another university, and they didn't go with Mississippi State, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Like, if you think about Mississippi universities,
I mean, that's some bad blood, too.
State would have been the next. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they went with the Golden Eagles.
And I love it. That's really funny.
So what's,
I actually can't believe that. I got Ole Miss family members, so yeah.
My whole family went to Mississippi
Okay,
State, and
got
so
you,
like
got you.
it was a shock that they went with went with Southern Miss
That's
instead.
funny.
And actually, when my class, we were the inaugural class of
Oh,
scholars
nice.
for Southern Miss, so that was a really neat and unique program to be able to go through.
That's awesome.
Today, they do have money at Mississippi State,
Okay,
so they
gotcha.
have spread out into other corners of the state.
That's cool.
But yeah, so
That's funny.
it's all throughout the state. So I worked for Lucky Day at Southern Miss for several years, and loved it.
Yeah.
Like there's something beautiful
Yeah.
about a college campus, and the whole semester, and like how each year you're just going through a cycle.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's very repetitive, but it's also
Different.
every
Yeah.
year is renewal, and you know, like you celebrate the new folks and celebrate
Yeah.
the seniors graduating
Yeah.
and going, and so there's
That's
just
cool.
it's a
That is
really
cool.
neat pattern that you can fall into, and it's very hypnotic.
Yeah.
I would say.
I can see that, yeah.
I was approached by someone else on cross campus and to move from student development into faculty development. And
Oh.
so I made the decision to leave Lucky Day and go across campus to a different department to see if I could challenge myself in a different way. Because I'd worked with students I'd worked with students a lot, had done a lot of curriculum development type stuff.
That's
and
cool.
I was like, well, yeah, I could work with faculty. Let's try this out. It was hard.
I bet. That sounds super hard.
Faculty are tough, but also learned a whole lot from that. I was working for a grant program within that department, but there was kind of like a hole that I had in like my passion for doing things, and I felt like I was a lot closer to the community when I was working with students, because we did a lot of service within the Hattiesburg community and stuff like that. And so a position became available in marketing and communications at United Way of Southeast Mississippi.
There you go.
And that popped up, and I was like, hey, wonder if I could move off campus. I wonder if I could thrive and do anything off campus.
Okay.
And so I applied, and Tracy Fowler, she was my boss at United Way. She took a chance on me, and
Nice.
it's probably the reason that I've ever been able to leave Mississippi.
Wow.
Me being able to leave Southern gave me the confidence to know, like, I think you could do something anywhere.
That's awesome.
And so I worked for United Way for 3 years and loved it.
That's awesome.
Started off in marketing and communications. They created a different position of community impact for me so that I could work even more closely with the agencies that we funded.
That's cool.
And that's where, like, the nonprofit love came.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so was there, started dating a guy.
Shout out to Kevin. The legend that is.
And he lived here in Middle Tennessee. He lives here in Middle Tennessee. And so
How'd y'all meet?
Well, he's originally from Hattiesburg.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a whole podcast in itself.
Okay. Okay. I forgot the connection.
He was the director of the zoo.
Okay.
And I went to go play beer and bingo at the zoo one day because
Nice.
I am actually an 80-year-old. Just kidding. No, so yeah, he was the director of the zoo. They were trying to get young people into the zoo after hours for different things, and beer and
Smart.
bingo.
I mean,
That was
sounds fun.
That's how we met.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. I love it. Beer and bingo.
Yes, and then he left the
Just
zoo.
Bringing people together.
Just exactly.
Kidding. Oh, that's great.
Exactly. I didn't win bingo that night, but I feel like I won
You
something
won.
bigger.
You won. He's a good one.
He really is.
Yeah. Shouts to Kevin.
Yes. Well, so he was here. Well, he left the zoo, obviously.
Right.
So I'm running the zoo from Middle Tennessee. He started a lighting company in
Yes.
Middle Tennessee. We did the long distance thing, and that was hard.
I bet.
It sucked.
It always is. Yeah.
And so we got to the point of like, either we're going to do something or we're going to break up.
Yeah.
Like something's got to happen. And so he put a ring on it,
Hey.
and I moved to Tennessee.
There you go.
And so I started with a small organization called Franklin Tomorrow,
Okay.
and I worked there for about a year and a half. The best introduction to Franklin that you
Nice.
could ever have. If you're new to the Middle Tennessee area and you want to know people in Franklin, go to a Franklin Tomorrow event.
Okay.
You're going to meet people. You're going to meet the folks who are passionate about the community in every aspect.
That's awesome.
Like politics, environmental, just economic,
They're long running. How long have they been around?
20 years.
Okay. Nice.
They celebrated 20 years in 2020.
Nice.
And so just a
It's
great
almost 25.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Yeah. That's true. We're in 2024.
it's a
Lord.
wild that little yeah, he blinked, yeah.
Yeah. So they do a lot of great things, and so I highly recommend if you want to get to know
Franklin
people
Tomorrow.
in Franklin, go to a Franklin Tomorrow event. They have all kinds of things going
That's
on.
really cool.
I was there. I loved it. Loved the people that I met. Was having a lot of fun. But a waves position became available,
Hey,
and I
shouts to
said,
Waves.
yeah, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go for it.
Nice.
And so I applied, and
Here you are.
here we are.
When was that?
4.5 years.
4.5 years later? Okay.
Yeah, I started at Waves in December of 19.
Okay. When did we meet? Was it 2020? Or
2021, I
probably,
believe.
yeah.
Like, because it was after COVID. It was we were
Right.
coming out of COVID
right,
things.
that's right.
Yeah. So we met at a Sounds game.
Yep.
One of my board members invited me to a nonprofit networking group
Yep.
through First Horizon.
Right. Shouts to Josh.
Yep. And
Josh Rosales.
that's right.
Yep.
And you were there, and we met, and I was like, I have an idea.
I don't remember that conversation vividly. That was
and you were
awesome.
like, well, I do this.
Yeah, I happen to help people with that. Oh, man.
Exactly. And so here we are.
Waves of awareness.
Waves of awareness is a real thing.
Season 8 coming in hot. That's crazy.
I know. It's insane to think about.
That's dedication.
It's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of learning.
Yep.
A lot of learning.
For all of us. Yep.
A lot of funny conversations.
Yes.
A lot
Classic conversations.
A lot of awkward moments.
Definitely a few of those. Definitely. some
yes,
of those.
yes. Yeah, I feel like I never thought I would have to navigate death through a podcast.
Yeah, man. That was a curveball.
Yeah, when I was talking about movies.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
Yeah, so if you want a fun podcast to listen to,
Waves of awareness.
keep you on your toes.
Yes,
Waves
it will.
Awareness is the one that'll do it.
It really will. But man, it's been awesome. It's been so much fun. You know, from those initial talks, like the whole process was just so cool. And your diligence and like perseverance, like it was commendable to say the least.
I feel like when I want something,
Hey, you get it done.
I'm gonna try to figure it out.
I'm glad you're like that. It's been so awesome. I always say I don't have a favorite, but I low-key have a favorite.
It's my favorite too.
Don't tell anybody. But
Listeners, don't tell the other
don't tell
podcast.
anybody, but Waves of Awareness definitely has a special place in my heart for sure.
It's a ton of fun.
It's so fun. Can you this is a selfish question.
Yeah.
Walk me through the grant process, because I'm trying to do that more. I'm like, how do we become the grant that can be funded? Like,
Yes. Okay. You want to
like I want to have the STP grant. Like, use
you
waves.
you want to have money to give to other people?
No. I want
you
them
want to
fund-
receive
yes.
money. Okay.
With
Okay.
like the proven track record, we'll use waves as an example.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
How does that work
It works differently
for everything?
and it's all dependent on like what grantor or funder you're gonna be approaching.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of organizations out there that it's obviously all for profits,
Right.
for the most part. You have a lot of foundations that
Right.
also give money, so they're nonprofits giving to nonprofits,
Right.
much like United Way.
Right.
And then you have government funds. I would say those are like the three big pockets.
Right.
And so I would say government funds are very sticky.
Right.
They
That's what we did, right?
Yeah,
Or you
we-
did. I say we loosely. You did.
Yes,
But-
yes. Our grant did come through DIDD, which is a government agency. It's the
Right.
Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities.
Yep.
Name is changing.
Is it?
To yes. I should know this.
No, it's
The
okay.
Department of Aging and Disabilities,
Oh, okay.
or it's the Department of Disabilities and Aging.
Okay.
Something
Oh, like the-
DAD or DDA.
something like that.
One of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's coming official like probably June 1.
Oh, wow.
So, so very, very soon. The commissioner was just
I saw that,
signed
yeah.
in this week. So,
That's awesome.
that change is hitting. It's coming.
Yeah.
they're joining two departments.
Okay.
So the Department of Intellectual and Disabilities
With the
is,
aging population.
yes,
Okay.
and
that
with the
makes sense.
Department of Aging.
I got you.
They're coming together.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, because there's a lot of overlap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we did do a government grant.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is there's going to be a lot more oversight, a lot more reporting,
Right.
a lot more justification for the
Sure.
spending.
Yep,
So that one, there's a lot that goes into this.
Right.
But then there's also foundation grants, which foundation grants, a lot of them will state what they want to fund. So they're looking at specific populations or specific initiatives. We see a lot of like women and children,
Right.
which is limiting for us to be able to apply for, because we do have children that we support.
Right.
But we also have a lot of adults that we support that are
Right.
men.
Right.
So, yeah. So
Right.
I think the biggest piece of like when you're applying for a grant is finding the funder that matches your mission,
There you go.
as opposed to trying to make your mission match their
Right.
specifications.
Right.
And so that can be tricky,
Right.
but it's not impossible.
Right.
And then you have your for-profit organizations that just give money.
Right.
So
Where are those? where are those at?
typically it's their marketing departments.
Okay.
And so
Getting the lowdown. Let's go.
yeah, so as a organization, because you do have your 501c3, correct?
No.
No. Okay, but you're working
Mhm.
on it. Yes. Because a lot of funders will not give.
It has to be a nonprofit.
Mhm.
So right.
You have to have the
But if
nonprofit
we
designation.
the way we did it though was y'all got the grant and paid us.
Yes. Hmm.
So that I'm trying to rinse and repeat that.
Okay, so it would be the podcast organization, the
I feel
organization.
like this could benefit most nonprofits. Like what we
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as far as like, I mean, we've had job skills, we've had experience,
Mhm.
like, you know,
Oh,
being on
for
the
sure.
microphone. Like, there's not a downside really.
Mm-mm.
So, anyway,
I
we
mean,
can talk
it's-
more offline. But
It's constant marketing and advertising.
right.
For your organization.
Exactly. Donor shout outs, like
Yes.
spotlights,
Yes.
sponsors, all the stuff.
100%. Yes. And
Makes
so,
sense.
but I think the big caveat is that a lot of the for-profits will only fund a nonprofit.
Right.
So it could be a
There's like
501c3
8,000
or a
MRFs,
church
bro.
or
right.
you know, like there's yeah. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that can go into that. As an organization, you could approach and do partnerships to see if they would be willing to give money. Because I mean, essentially, like when we find sponsorships,
Right.
that's a lot of our sponsorships. if you sponsor us for an event or for a season of the podcast, we'll give you advertisement options and opportunities through that. So that's why marketing departments are the ones that are going to make those big decisions.
Gotcha.
If they don't have a foundation or a grant avenue set up throughout their company already.
Gotcha.
So that's how like those things work. So I think that's the biggest brainstorm that you have in front of you is how can the nonprofits that you're working with, you can work alongside them with the grant process, but you wouldn't be the recipient. You would be the contract that they are writing the money for, because that's how we justified it. We were like, we're doing contractual services with Spread the Positive to be able to pay for all the things that we got.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. So
Yeah,
it's still going.
Yeah, and we were able to purchase
the equipment.
Purchase equipment. I mean, it was a $17,000 grant. It was that we were able to, and on the timelines of things, you know, like we had to spend it fast because of their timelines and when we had to report back and all that kind of stuff. So
cool. Sorry, a little selfish plug.
No.
Or selfish question asking. That's awesome. I mean, I think that it's just worked so well. Like, that's my thing. And, like, I don't know. Being able to be like, here, look at this. It really works. Like, people are learning a lot of skills. Everybody's getting exposure. We're telling stories of countless other nonprofits. Like, we've had how many other nonprofits? Like,
oh, Lord.
Like, 50
a lot.
plus, I bet.
Yeah, we've had a ton of
20,
nonprofits
50.
come on.
Yeah. And it's all about, like, I don't know. It really fits the whole mission. So just a little brainstorm on Mike. Appreciate you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
But, all right, let's get back to Waves, though. So you get to Waves in 2020, and were you community or development?
Development community relations. It is my today current title. Tomorrow it's different.
Hey, that's wild. What a time to do a 5. It'll be tomorrow. My official title. I'll have my name tag on tomorrow. No.
Yeah,
that's
gotta
awesome.
make sure that's ordered.
Yeah.
So came in as the Development and Community Relations Director in December of 19. I don't know if y'all remember.
That was a
funny thing happened 3 months later.
Yeah, I was there for that. Yep.
Yeah, so we do an annual fundraising breakfast, which falls under my department every year in March. The timing, guys.
That's so funny.
So I came in and like we're immediately like in the throes of like getting this planned out, doing everything, learning the job. This is my first like development job.
Sure.
Like I'd written a couple of grants at United Way and at Franklin Tomorrow, but like had never like, that's your job now.
Okay.
And so
it's quite a transition.
Yeah, it was big. It was a big learning curve. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Because literally like I came in December and it was like the last day of December too. Like it wasn't. Wow. It was hardly even. It was. I think December 30th was my first day. And so like January 2, when we walk in the door, my first like directive was like, and by the way, the United Way grant is due before the end of the month. And I was like, okay,
good.
Well, this is a huge transition because I had been on the
so
application.
You're on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had been on the funds distribution side for so many years.
Right.
And I was like, well, I understand how it works.
Right.
You know, but I'd never been on the applicant side. And I was like, oh, it was intimidating.
Yeah. How? What all's involved with that? Just a ton of.
It's a lot of metrics that you're looking at.
People y'all serve, budgets,
filling out those narratives to show how like what our mission is, how we're fulfilling that mission, how many heads, like how many people are we serving, how are we making their lives better, how are we proving that we're doing that? So like how do we measure it? And at that point, we had 2 applications with United Way for our adult services and our early learning. So it wasn't just one, it was 2.
Wow.
And so it was all of that, putting it in. Thankfully now it's just one for the whole organization.
Good.
So it's gotten easier. But that was also pre the merger between United Way Williamson County and United Way Greater Nash.
Oh, wow.
At that point they were separate on their way to being merged, but still we were still applying through Williamson
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't messy on our end. I don't know what it looked like for them at United Way.
Sure.
But for us, they did a great job making it a smooth transition.
That's awesome.
And it's been easier as a recipient of those fundings because they've really streamlined everything.
That's awesome.
To be like, nope, you get one application. You can still ask for that full funding, and so that's been nice.
It just could have been 1 year sooner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, and they've also gone to like a multi-year cycle, so it's not annual. So like you get in and you get locked in for a couple of years,
nice.
And
y'all been with them for a long time, so y'all got a proven track record. So that definitely helps.
Yes,
right?
yeah. We love United Way.
Right.
They do such a great job for not just us, but so many agencies across Middle Tennessee.
It's pretty amazing.
Yes. So back to the story.
Yeah.
Back to the timeline. So we're planning for our annual breakfast, and that's in March, like usually the second week of March.
Right.
We hear about this thing called COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's
sure.
not even in America.
Yeah.
Like we've got Seattle doing weird stuff.
Sure.
They've got it. What?
We're
Tennessee.
We'll be
like,
okay.
Yeah.
We're the volunteer state.
Right.
We got to keep moving.
Exactly. So it is, our breakfast was on a Tuesday, and the Friday before the event, the first case in Tennessee popped up.
Oh boy.
In Williamson County.
Of course. Right.
And our board director called me and he's like, Staci, what are we doing? Like, what do we do? And I was like,
I should be asking you that.
And I was like, we're going. We're doing this. It's one case. We will have hand sanitizer out beside the breakfast trays. Like, and
Sounds
so
logical. Yeah.
So we went through with the breakfast. It was great. It went off without a hitch.
Nice.
And then Friday, the world shut down.
Holy smokes. That's so crazy. Wow.
Like we just barely got in under the wire. And if you're thinking, well, you were probably a super spreader, and there were no cases that I heard of that came out of our event.
Sure.
But I think it was all like, I think Tennessee did a great job of being very cautious and creating parameters to keep everyone healthy. And so I think we closed and shut down very quickly to help diminish the spread.
Sure.
And so I think it worked out really well. We were the last event for the venue that we do it at. We were the very last event of that year. And then
that's crazy.
Yeah. And then in 2021, we pushed. We were like, oh, still kind of weird in March. So we pushed as far as we could to June. And we were the first event that they had back.
Wow.
At the same venue.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 years later?
Yeah, the gal that I worked. No, it was 2021. So 2020 to 2021.
Oh, yeah. The end of,
so it was about not even 18 months.
Sure.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because she was like, y'all were my last event and you're my first back. And
let's go. We did it right. Okay.
Here we are.
That's amazing.
Yep. So, so that was like the beginning of my time at Waves. And so
what a wild way to come into things.
Yep. And 4.5 years later, I applied and fought for the job, and now I'm executive director.
That's amazing. Super well deserved. You wear a lot of hats over there.
Thanks.
Already.
We all work very hard.
It's an amazing team. Y'all got small but mighty team over there.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah. Yes. It's really amazing all the stuff y'all do with the amount of
amount of people. Yeah. We're moving and grooving, which is super excited. And just for listeners, if you don't know about Waves,
let's get. That would have helped. Come on, interview guy. What does Waves do? Sorry, we're 40 minutes.
We do a lot of stuff.
No, talk to us.
So Waves. obviously we're a nonprofit,
Mhm.
but we've been in Williamson County for 50 years.
Yep.
We celebrated 50 in 2023. We're so excited, but we support.
Quite the party.
Yeah.
That was an awesome event.
Yes, we'll talk more about that in a second.
Yes,
because
sorry.
it's coming up again.
Okay,
And I would love
beautiful.
to have more people there. But we support children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so our mission is to empower them to progress towards their full potential.
Love it.
That's a lot of words that can seem empty. But when you look at what we're actually doing, we're fully wrapping around each individual that we support and helping them live as independently as possible and to be and do anything that they dream that they can do.
Got goosebumps. That's awesome.
And that looks differently for each person because we provide developmental therapy for babies between the ages of 0 and 5. And so we're helping them meet those developmental milestones. So if a child in Tennessee has a developmental delay or a disability, you can do a self-referral or your doctor can refer your child through the TEIS system, which is the Tennessee Early Intervention Services.
Yep.
You can get a referral through them, and they'll send you to a vendor like Waves, based on your location. And so if you are in Williamson, Murray, Perry, Dixon, Hickman County, and a little bit of Davidson and a little bit of Rutherford County. If you live in those counties and you go through the system, you'll be referred to us.
Nice.
Because that's our service area for
amazing.
early learning. And our early interventionists are the best.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely the best. They're working with babies, helping them meet their milestones. What I love about the early learning program is that it's not just working with the child. The child is the focus, but we're really providing those tools that the caregiver needs, and we're equipping them to be active agents within their child's development. So, so like we're there for an hour a week or every other week or whatever the support needs. The caregiver's there all the other hours in between. And so there's so many opportunities for growth and development that are happening when the EI is not there.
Right.
And it's just the caregiver. And so we're helping that caregiver like see how they can be that person helping their child. Right. And then also when the child turns 5, they feel confident that they can continue supporting their child in their development. And so that's just, it's so fun.
Yeah.
The early learning program is a blast.
And so impactful, right? Like,
yes,
it's changing lives for
Yeah.
entire families. Like,
yes.
That's
we've
massive.
got a great mom lined up for the podcast this season.
Yes. Let's go.
So she's got a crazy story.
Wow.
and it's amazing.
That's amazing.
So stay
Excited.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Cliffhanger. Waves of awareness. Click subscribe right now.
But in addition to our children, we also support adults. And so we've got a residential program where we've got folks living in homes all throughout Williamson County, and we provide staff in their homes. We own some of the homes and they rent from us, but we provide that staff. It's their homes, it's their house, it's their schedules, it's what they want to do. Our staff is just there to support them, to do whatever they want to do.
That's awesome.
And work on those skills so that they can be as independent as possible. And then we've got a day program. That's how we originally started, was with the day program out in Fairview. But we have one in Fairview and in Franklin.
Right.
And that's just a fun program where they're able to come together during weekdays, socialize, build different skills, but then also go into the community. And so they do a lot of volunteering. They do a lot of community outings to go have fun. This morning there was a music class that was taking place at the office.
Bet that was awesome.
Yeah. What's that song? Country Road, like
Take Me Home?
Yeah.
Nice.
I heard that on karaoke this morning while I was at my desk. They were having some fun.
That's so awesome.
And then we also have employment services for our adults. So anybody who wants to get a job, we help them. We wrap around and we do whatever is needed to help them get that job and to succeed in that job.
Right. I mean, years.
Yes.
I mean, decade. Like, people are over a decade at the
Matt the Man Moore, if you listen to Waves of
Matt.
Awareness, he has been at Best Buy for 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years. And then Eric and Tripp, who have also been on Waves of Awareness,
Yep.
they've been at Publix for, I think, 13 or 14.
Yeah. One's
The
just
number
barely,
changed.
Yeah.
The number changes.
Yeah.
They
I've been
started
there 25 years.
They started on the same day.
Oh, did they really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, dude, that's so funny.
They always try to one of
That's
each
so
other.
funny.
Like
Oh
the
my
definition
gosh.
of competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Those two best friends.
As it should be. That's how we are.
Yeah. Eric will be like, I've been there 11 years. Oh, I've been there
12.
12, says Tripp. And you look and their mom's sitting right there beside him. And she's like, no,
They
y'all started the same day.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
And then there's also community integration. So any of those employment folks, if they are succeeding and thriving and don't need support at their place of employment, but yet their waiver that they have through the state allows for them to have more time with our staff,
Yeah.
then they just go do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so they have a ton of fun. I would say that's the most fun program that we have. Like we had a group of guys, 1 week they said, we all want to go do goat yoga.
Of course yeah.
And we were like, excuse me, goat yoga? How did you hear about? Okay. Let's figure it out. You're right. We don't ask questions. We just figure it out.
That's great.
And so it was a group of like 5 or 6 guys. They
Nice.
all went out and did goat yoga. It was a lot of coordination of their schedules and then
Right.
also our staff schedules. So because we had to provide the transportation for them.
Was that documented?
There's tons of pictures.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
I made sure
Okay,
that
good.
I was there to
Good,
take pictures
good.
that day.
Okay,
'cause
good.
It was so fun. And when they got done with goat yoga, they said, next week we want to go to Arrington Vineyards.
Of course. Yeah.
And we were like,
Let's go.
okay, let's go. Like you're all of age.
Yep.
All of your caregivers said it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go. And that they had a blast.
Yeah.
Like they sipped on their frosé. They FaceTimed their moms while they played cornhole,
Let's
they
go.
danced. It was just fun.
Yep.
They had a
That's how it
blast.
should be.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Getting to go live life like
Yeah,
everyone else.
right. That's
the goal.
What's going right? Let's
Mhm.
talk about it. That's what
Yeah.
we do here. So what's next? What are you excited about?
Well, I'm excited about Waves of Awareness starting.
me too.
Because that's like a routine that like you can
Yeah, it's just such a good midweek
yeah.
check in, uplift. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just like good for your mental health, honestly.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's
like
a ton
good
of fun.
Waves of Awareness Wednesdays.
Yep, Waves Wednesdays
hear
is our favorite day.
Yeah, you hear it. We keep it moving on. We keep recording and get them out. So
Yep.
that's so good.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about we do have our Brews and Grooves event coming back in
Nice.
September. Excuse me, which is just a ton of fun.
So fun.
It's if for those that don't know about Brews and Grooves, it's a fundraising event, but it's a concert event.
Yep.
And so we have a local artist come and perform originals and covers.
Yep.
Whatever, just have a fun time.
Mhm.
But then we also have a couple of the adults that we
Mhm.
support that perform as well with
Yep.
them.
Superstars.
Because we've got some great performers.
Yes, we do.
Who love to be on the mic.
Yes, we do.
And so, so we'll have that, and then we have food trucks. We're trying to get it worked out to where your tickets will cover your food and
Nice.
drinks as well, because it's Brews and Grooves.
There you go.
So we're looking for a beer sponsor.
Yep.
So if you're the owner or connections to a
Yeah.
brewery, let's talk. So
Next door,
we're
yeah.
next door. So
Seriously, calling you out.
yeah.
We can line that up though. At least the conversation.
Yeah, so that's in September, September
awesome.
19th.
Cool.
So it's gonna be a blast.
Same
Like,
place.
Mhm.
Okay.
mhm.
Where is
And
it?
we-
What's it called again?
Eastern Flank,
Okay.
which is
It's beautiful.
mhm.
It's so nice.
It's on an old battlefield
Yeah.
in Franklin. That's what we are.
Yep.
Rural battlefields.
Mhm. Quite a few of those around. Yep.
And so, but it's one of the old battlefields that it actually, for a while, it was a golf course. And so it was like the country
Yeah.
club.
Right.
And so this is the clubhouse
Yeah.
that has now become the
That's what somebody said.
Parks and Rec's office.
There you go.
But it's
Oh,
an
that's
event.
cool.
It's an event venue.
That's cool.
But it's near Carton
Right.
Carton House.
Got you. Got you. That's exciting. So taking over the new role literally tomorrow.
It's been exciting. Yeah.
That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. I know you're
Thank
going to
you.
kill it. The organization is in great hands, to say the least.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. What else? What else do we need to cover? Or how can people support?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty important.
Yeah, you can find us online. Our website is wavesinc.com. And then we've got all of our socials.
Okay.
So on Facebook, we're Waves Inc. or Wave Serves, which, however you want to search for it. But then we've got 3 Instagram accounts.
Right.
We've got our regular programming, so Wave Serves, and then we've got Waves of Awareness, and then we have our early learning.
Right.
And so if you're a parent
Yes.
and you're looking for tips, that
unbelievable resource.
It's golden.
Yes,
like,
it really is.
The information that's coming out of that Instagram account is top notch.
Yes.
And your kid doesn't have to have a disability.
Right.
This is
No,
great.
it's just straight.
It's great information
Yes,
for
for
any
parents,
child. Yeah. And so we're starting to hit on hey, it's summertime. What are some things that you need to start getting ready for? Like, let's talk about summer vacation. How do you travel with a kid? How do you prep for that? How do you entertain your kids?
Love
what
it.
are activities that you can do? So we're really starting to get into like that summer content.
Yep.
And so we try to be super cognizant of the timeliness of our content, so that it's applicable for parents to really prepare for all these different things that happen throughout the year.
Right. That's awesome. So be sure to follow those accounts. That's amazing. So I got a few signature questions I always ask on the way out. So being familiar with Spread the Positive and the mission, who's someone in your life that really lives it out?
Oh. Who's just really doing good things? Well, I mean, it's hard to sit across from you and not
I
say
can't. Anybody that's associated directly is off the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's just doing something really, really well? Oh, let me think about this. Because there's so many.
A lot.
Yeah. Tee up the next question. We'll come back to this one
Okay,
because
I
I'm
love
going to
it.
think about,
I love the thoughtfulness. I love that.
Well, I was told when I worked at the university, one of my favorite professors, shout out to Dr. Conville.
Okay.
I co-taught with him my senior year.
Wow.
And he said, Staci, if you ask a truly thought-provoking question, you need to give people time to think.
Wow.
And so, because I was
take that to heart.
I was a very much like air filler. And I was like, you're right. Like, if I want them to answer me thoughtfully, they need to think.
Yeah.
So I think about that a lot.
Dang,
like,
that's good.
Stuck with me.
What was the professor's name?
Dr. Conville.
Dr. Conville.
Dick Conville in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
There you go. Shouts to you, Dr. Conville. I will take that to heart as well.
Yes.
That's beautiful. All right. Second signature thing is the grateful for.
The grateful for.
4 things you're most grateful for right now.
Ooh, okay. I'm grateful to be alive.
Yes.
I was thinking about that this morning when I'm a runner. I like to run in the mornings, and I was just thinking, it's a great day. Like, I'm alive, I'm moving. You can't ask for too much more than that.
It's a great place to start.
Yeah. So I'm grateful to be alive and be here.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my family. Kevin is my number one, my husband, and he's my biggest cheerleader.
That's awesome.
I think he's more excited about this promotion.
I can see that.
He's
awesome,
he's
though.
like, this
That's
is
how it
what
should
we've
be.
been working for. This is what we, it's great to have somebody in your corner that's doing that.
Heck yeah.
And the same, for my mom,
Yep.
before I came in the door, she was calling me,
Yes. I love it.
and so I think my mom, and I would say, I'm super grateful for my team that I have at Waves, because I wouldn't want the job if I didn't have the team that I have. And so I think that speaks a lot, because they're just super supportive, and they are just the greatest people who work hard.
Yes.
There's a lot of hard work happening. And so just super, super grateful for them. And since we've been talking about them for 40 minutes, I'm super grateful for the people that we support.
Yes, man, that's a good one.
They they enrich my life every day.
Yes.
Like that I see them, that I'm able, like I get excited about getting to go to the day programs or go to the houses and stuff. Like just being able to see and interact with the folks that we support, like is truly enriching.
Yep.
Completely.
That's so good.
Yeah. So those are my grateful for.
I love it. The tagline's bringing light to what's going right. So according to you, Staci, what is going right in the world?
Oh,
Another thought provoker.
That's a loaded one.
Obviously, like all things waves is a given. What else?
I think something that's going really well in the world is that, like, in light of all of the craziness, because it doesn't matter what app, whatever socials, whatever news source you follow, there's just so much going on. But if you're able to pull yourself from that and look past it, there's these pockets of brightness that are just happening everywhere, not just waves.
Right.
Like you've got so many great organizations that are boots on the ground, just doing stuff, changing lives, making a difference. And it's truly inspiring in light of all the other things that are happening in the world. And so I would say, like, just a general, like, shout out to the nonprofits.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Of the area. Because, I mean, like, it's really hard to identify one,
right?
You know, because, like, I know, like, we're doing all that we can in our little corner that we have. But I know High Hopes is doing so much. Backlight Productions is doing so much. Like the Best Buddies organization, Down Syndrome of Middle Tennessee. Like there's just so many organizations that are just making such a huge difference in the lives of people, which can seem like it's being overlooked, but you're making such a huge difference to those people that you're with on a daily basis. Like that is
an awesome answer.
It's just inspiring.
It is. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
That's literally
like
the whole mission is like, let's talk about that stuff. And instead of so much of the other stuff we get plenty of, right?
Yeah.
We get that. There's a lot of hurt in the world.
Yeah.
Well aware. What are we going to do about it? Like, and then there's all these things you just mentioned that are like directly combating that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm for the past it's been I think 2 weeks since like I've been named executive director. So like all of these, like there's so much change happening, like for me personally, for our organization, all these kinds of things. And I've been like in the mindset of control your controllables. Yeah. There's so many things that are outside of your control that you like, it doesn't matter what you do, something's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
But what in this moment right now, today, what can I control? And what can I do about that? And so, like, that's just kind of been, like, my mantra.
Yeah. every few seconds.
Probably will be my mantra for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good, that probably shouldn't change, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's probably not. Cause
I don't know. If you're not doing that, you're probably missing something, right? Yeah.
Because it's one of the, like, I just feel like there's so many things that are just moving at such a fast pace.
Yep.
Like, I can't do it all, but I can do some things.
Yep.
And so let's identify those things. And I think that's how you got to look at how you're making an impact in the world too. Like there's a lot of big things that like you probably want to change,
right?
But being a keyboard warrior is not going to change it.
Nope.
But what can you do?
Yep.
And so I think that's the big question.
That's beautiful. And that's what Waves does. That's what you're doing every day, right? Like every single time you interact with a recipient.
We're trying to.
Yeah, it's like you're building people up, you're supporting them, you're giving resources, you're helping where you can, which is everything. Like that's what else are we supposed to do if we're not doing that? So shouts to you. Shouts to the whole team. It's always it's one of my favorite organizations I've ever had the privilege of being a part of. So please support Waves. They're doing amazing things. wavesinc.com.
Yes.
At Waves Serves.
We're going to go back to that first one?
Yeah, let's go back. Take it back.
I thought about it.
All right, let's go.
Because the question was...
Who lives it out?
Who lives it out?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to talk about a group of people.
Okay.
The Workman Group.
Yes.
They are a realty group out of Nashville, but they are the most giving group of realtors I've ever met.
Wow.
I mean, we used them personally when we bought our house,
Nice.
but and it was great. It
Nice.
was a great experience.
There
So
you go.
really great realtor. Would highly recommend them for anybody
There you go.
looking for anything. If you're moving in or out,
Sure.
they're great. But they
serve.
they have a program. They're a company that cares,
I love
and
that.
so they do monthly give backs into the community.
Monthly's
Yeah.
impressive.
They do, yeah, exactly. Monthly give backs where they give back to lots of different organizations. But Waves has been the recipient several times, and a couple of weekends ago, they've officially adopted one of our homes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they have said they volunteered. Like I set them up at the house one time, and then they came back and they're like, "We love these residents, and we want to take care of their home." And so we're gonna kind of adopt them, and we're on a regular basis. We're gonna come and clean up and love on their home and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Which to me is just beautiful
Yeah.
because like they're in the realm of homes
Yeah.
and like buying and selling, so they understand
What to keep up.
Yeah,
what really helps, right?
and they also understand, like how that makes an impact in the neighborhood,
Sure.
but then also for the residents.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
That's
for
awesome.
for these guys to come home and be like, look at how neat and tidy the flower beds are now,
Yeah.
and there's no longer like sprouts coming out of my gutter.
Sure.
Like that, like there's a sense of pride that comes
Absolutely.
in that. So they don't even have to interact with the residents if the residents don't want to. But they're making such a huge impact
that's so awesome.
on their daily lives
Yeah.
because it's where they live,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where like it brings me to tears when I have conversations with them because they're like, hey, like I noticed this over here. Like, do you have a plan for that? Do we need to do like, what do you need? Is there mulch needed? Just send me pictures. And they showed up with a truck bed full of mulch,
Nice.
and it's like, and there's never a question of like, hey, like, do you need the receipt for that?
Right.
It's no, like all
Yeah.
of it is just freely given. And
Wow.
so, and like for them to love on us that way, like, and I know that they're doing it for others,
That's
it's
so
just the Workman Group, huge shout out.
That's amazing. That might be a good way to wrap it up. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Staci. Thank you for everything. I'm so grateful for the show and working with you and just our friendship over the years.
Yeah.
Like I
Ditto.
lean on you for a lot of things, and you've always been just an open ear and very, very supportive and super, just really awesome to work with. And
Thank you, Trent. I
truly
can say
value.
the same about you, like the exact same.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Go support Waves. Be sure to subscribe to the pod, all the things, and we'll wrap this one up.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go.